Hey guys, Acro Brandon here, and today we're going to learn how to do a liquid motion seated straddle roll. Now there are a few different variations within the seated straddle roll. Today I'm going to show you the easier one of the three options that we have available to us. So let's get to it. Okay, so our seated straddle roll, I'm going to show you what it looks like first, and then we'll come back and talk about it and then break it down. Okay, so that's a general idea of what it looks like. So we're going to be going through two main shapes. One is like this kind of baby maker type of shape right here. And then we're also going to be going through a cobra kind of shape. So on the back side, when I was turned away from you, I was in this shape right here. Or from the side, it looks a little something like this. So I want to talk about this cobra shape first, okay? And I'm using that word cobra very loosely because if you've done yoga, typically we're here, right? A stereotypical cobra is keeping the pubic bone connected, the arms are straight, the chest is lifted, you're trying to get up as high as you can, right? Creating flexibility in the back and tons of range of motion, okay? So I don't want that. I'm using it very loosely into a cobra type of shape. So if you are really tight in the lower back, or you can't get your arms straight, or you're doing something but you start to lift off the ground, that's a big no-no. We want to try and keep the pelvis connected to the floor at all times. And actually, if we just release down to the forearms and get a little more comfortable, if you notice that when you just shake your ass left and right from side to side, that you're actually rolling through the pelvis and you're keeping a nice connection to the floor, okay? So from here on out, as we go through this roll, what I want you to think about is that your pelvis is from here to here. But if we could bring the line up to the belly button, we would actually have more surface area to roll through, and that'll keep a really good connection to the floor. It'll make it easier for you to roll as we transition left and right through the seated straddle roll. The other thing that's important when we do the seated straddle roll is that we keep our feet connected to the floor at all times. So we're never lifting our foot to come around or coming over here or doing anything. It's almost like your feet have magnets in them and you cannot lift them off of the metal floor, okay? So we're going to start in this position here. We're opening up our legs. We have about a 90-degree bend. The foot is pointed, right? So if I were to show you my foot, I have a nice toe point right here, okay? If I were to relax this point, right, and then lift my foot up, I would have this wonky looking sickle type of foot, okay? So we're going to stay here pointing through the foot, and as we roll from one side to the next, you're going to notice I'm going to roll over the toes, and I'll either be on the outside of the big toe or the outside of the pinky toe as we go left and right, okay? And then the hands are comfortably behind me, and I'm propping my chest up here, okay? So today's focus, okay, keeping the feet connected to the floor, yes, and then rolling through all of the pelvis. There's a lot of different things that we could focus on in this. Those are going to be the focus in today's little teaching right here. Okay, so from this position right here, we're going to take my right leg, I'm going to bring it in towards me, keeping it connected to the floor. The top leg, the left leg is going to sweep across, and I'm going to stack the hips. You might get this little kind of like side twatty shot, okay? And then you're going to come back, unwind, reset, boom. And I'm still pushing up through the floor nice and solid. Then if I take the left foot, I bring it in towards me, I sweep the right across, and then I'm coming across here, okay? Now we're going to work on getting into this cobra shape on the other side. So one more time, we come back to center, we pause, right foot comes in, left leg sweeps across, and I'm going to initiate through the hip to push myself through. Now as I go through here, I want to open this leg back so that I can start to roll through the pelvis. You should really feel everything connecting to the floor. Remember, when we are laying here just rocking our ass left and right, that's the same thing you want to feel. So if you don't want to be on the forearms because you're not going to be able to push yourself up to the other side. So if you need to bend the elbows a little bit, whatever that is, okay, maybe the hands are going to be a little further in front of you because you want to have straight arms. It's up to you, but we need the elbows off, but the belly button almost connected so that you can shake the booty left and right, and then unwind it back the way you came. So rolling back, stack the hips first, bend the bottom leg, sweep the top leg across and open, unwind, push yourself back up. Let's go over here towards the left. Left leg bends in first, right leg stays connected and sweeps across, stack the hips, start to push through the pelvis, and as you start to roll, the bottom leg straightens, that you can roll through the pelvis, continue transitioning to the other side, stack the hips once again, bottom leg bends, top leg sweeps across, you sweep up, okay, in this position, okay? Once again, we're going to take the right leg. We're going to go in this direction a couple of times. Right leg bends in, left leg sweeps across, stacking the hips, pushing through the left hip, and you start to open up into a little X, roll through the pelvis, stack the hips, bottom leg bends, top leg sweeps across, opening up, right? Because what we want to do is as we go to one side, if both of our feet, both of our legs stay the same distance, same length, right, they're going to bang each other. So one's got to get shorter so that the other one can go around it. Okay, so let's go over this side one more time, just to the right, and then we'll come back. I'll turn around and we'll talk about the whole Cobra-esque kind of shape. Okay, right leg bends in, left leg swoops across, push through the left leg, start to open into your X, roll through the paddles, transition, stack the hips, bottom leg bends, top leg swoops across, and then we're back here. Okay, so I'm going to do it a couple more times. This time I'm going to face you, and you can face me if you want as well. So I'm going to start in this Cobra shape. Okay, so if your arms are too far away from you, okay, and then you go to roll to your back, you're going to be way back here and have a really hard time pushing yourself up because you're so far away, okay? If the arms are closer to you, okay, once again, don't get caught thinking you need to have super Cobra flexibility and straight arms. No, you can just bend and still be able to shake your booty and have like a micro bend in the arms. That's okay, because that way when you transition back up into the seated straddle upright position, you have something to extend your arm to push you up and away. Okay, so we'll do this a couple more times, going from the Cobra facing forward, and then we'll wrap it all up here. Okay, so once again, here I am. I'm going to start in my Cobra shape. Okay, this is comfortable for me. I'm still able to keep my pelvis in the ground. Okay, if you're not a man, pretend you have a dick and you're pushing it into the floor, okay? That's your pubic bone, because that's what you actually need to feel, is that sensation of connection right there through the pubic bone, okay? I'm gonna roll to my left hip, stacking the hips, bottom leg bends, top leg sweeps across, and then as I sit up, I use this arm to sit me up. I come back to the hand. Right leg bends in, left leg sweeps across, pushing through the left hip, opening up, rolling through the pelvis, transition to the other side, bottom leg bends, top leg sweeps across, sit back up, one more time if you've got space, right leg bends in, left leg comes across, pushing through the pelvis, rolling through, pause here, switch, go back the other direction, yes, stack the hips, bottom leg bends, top leg sweeps up, push back up, pause, left leg in, right leg sweeps across, push through the pelvis, roll through the pelvis, transition to the other hip, coming up, sweep around, okay? So, as you roll, okay, you want to be very linear, okay, like you're going down a straight line right here, and you're either looking forwards or backwards, okay, every single time, okay? If you notice that as you're trying to move across your room or whatever space it is that you're going on, that your line starts to kind of drift to the left or to the right, okay? Think about what the leg, the hip that is initiating and pointing out as you melt through this position right here, okay? That will dictate in which direction you want to go. If I want to go over here, I'm going to push it in that direction and continue rolling through my pelvis as I go, okay? If I take this leg and I point towards the rear part of the room and into the corner, it could pull me in that direction, and that's when things start to get a little bit wonky. So just for directional changes and keeping yourself on pace, okay? That's a really quick breakdown on one of our versions of the seated straddle roll here at Liquid Motion, doing it here for this challenge today. If you'd like to know more, send me a message. I'm gonna start teaching some stuff on Zoom here again as well. And we got all sorts of stuff coming up, okay? See you in the next video.